Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A large industrial fire burns in the Chicago suburbs. Crews make sure those living nearby are safe while firefighters battle the blaze.
A Loves Park man barely survives an accident in Michigan. His family members hold out hope and explain what led up to a life-changing car crash.
Plus, powering Rockford. A new program will save energy and money for families in need of a boost. We'll tell you how you can enroll in the plan. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockton community members continue to worry over the Chemtool fire that started more than 2 weeks ago.
Sierra Club Illinois hopes to answer some questions tonight. The community conversation will feature public health experts. Many state and federal agencies that responded to the fire have since left the area and say Rockton is safe. But in the days since the explosion, some community members say they feel sick and fear for their long-term health.
It's not easy when we have people who live very near to the chemical disaster, but other people who feel like they may have been affected who live further away. So we're going to do our best to field those questions, refer people to the existing resources, and explain a little bit more about what the community and Sierra Club level response would be.
The community conversation will be held on Zoom. That begins at 6 tonight. Fire crews battle an industrial fire in southwest suburban Morris. The blaze started just before 1 this afternoon. You can see smoke coming from the commercial building in the 900 block of East Benton Street. The building is an old paper mill facility that's holding 100 tons of lithium batteries. Hazmat and foam teams have been called out to the area. Grundy County authorities have ordered evacuations for anyone who lives on the street and parts of the surrounding area. No injuries have been reported.
A state-line semi-truck driver fights for his life in Michigan.
His family blames the crash on wet streets. The man's wife tells Michelle Rave the road to recovery starts now. Michelle?
That's right. The Loves Park man is still in the hospital, but his wife tells me it's a miracle he's alive.
When my husband crashed, my husband's thoughts went to the darkest place they could, and my husband thought he would die.
Paul Maxim lives with his wife and 3 kids in Loves Park. 1 week ago, he was driving his new semi-truck in Muskegon, Michigan, when he crashed.
He was switching lanes, and when he switched back into a lane after a van took an exit, he was switching back, and he hit that deep puddle of water. And he said it made his wheels feel like they were on ice.
His wife, Courtney, says Paul is currently in a Michigan hospital.
He shattered his pelvis pretty bad. Both hips of his were broken. His femur was snapped right above the hip. He broke his wrist, multiple spinal fractures in his lower back and his upper back, multiple fractured ribs. Stitches and staples galore on his stomach and his arm and his neck and his face.
Paul is the sole provider for the family, Courtney describing him as a loving father and caring husband.
Yesterday was my birthday, the weirdest way to spend a birthday too, but he still managed to convince some nurses to go down there and buy me flowers for my birthday.
Although it's going to be a long road to recovery, Courtney believes his faith will pull him through.
He is really our world. He's the father of my children. He's my husband. He's my best friend. I feel whole when he is home with us and we could be a full family together. Everybody is here for him. And he'll pull through. He always does.
The family is in Michigan with Paul and are waiting for the green light to return home so Paul can begin physical therapy. The family has a GoFundMe page. I'll have a link to that in this story on mystateline.com. Eric?
Michelle, thanks for sharing that story with us. Rockford has a new fire chief, but it's just another temporary replacement. Today, the Fire and Police Commission named Todd Stockberger, Rockford Fire's interim chief. Chief Bob Vertez, who was appointed interim when Derek Bergston left, is retiring July 9th. Stockberger takes over then. The commission also reappointed interim police chief Randy Burke. Both men will serve in the roles for 60 days. Neither are eligible for the permanent chief jobs.
The state will start offering child care for just $1 a month to families at or below the poverty line. That program will also cap the cost of child care at 7% of your income. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. It's a permanent plan that goes into effect July 1st. The governor pitched the program as a tool to help parents get back to work. Childcare is just one reason why many workers haven't gone back to the job.
How many stores do we go to that have help wanted signs? Well, the reason there's a help wanted sign is because the worker can't come to work. The worker can't come to work because they can't find childcare, and it is just this vicious circle.
The jobs website monster.com says employers posted more than 155,000 new jobs in Illinois in the last month alone, yet unemployment sits at 6.7%. More than 400,000 workers take home an extra $300 a week in addition to regular unemployment.
Rockford just got a little greener. A new community solar program called Give a Ray will soon provide power to thousands of community members. It's thanks to ComEd and NexAmp. Families won't have to install solar panels on their own homes. Instead, they'll pull from a mass solar center. Participants will earn credits on utility bills for their portion of the energy the project produces. Supporters say this will save families about $250 a year.
We will be able to supply all of the community solar credits that are generated at this facility for free for the next 15 years to low-income customers. It's going to generate about $2.5 million of benefit and help about 10,000 families over the next 15 years.
The program is set to take off this fall. NexAmp is taking applications for service now. Just head to ComEd.com to join the wait list.
A curious kid in Boone County finds himself in a compromised position.
4-year-old Enzo pulled off a stunt at the dinner table that ended in a call to the fire department. Rachel Perry caught up with Enzo's family. Rachel's mom tells you now that he's free, they can laugh about it.
Mimi and Eric, this Belvidere mom, wasn't sure what to expect when her 4-year-old yelled out from the other room. She tells me trying not to laugh at what she walked in on was definitely hard.
Mom, can you help me? I'm stuck in Ryder's seat.
After working a long day, Kayla Hughes was making dinner when her 4-year-old Enzo called her name.
I was just like, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm coming. And so I went and I tried to get him out, and I tried for like 15 minutes. I mean, I started sweating trying to get him out.
Enzo got himself stuck in his 7-month-old sibling's sit-me-up chair, and Hughes couldn't get him out.
At first, I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, Enzo, for real? Come on.
But home alone, she realized she needed help.
He was like kind of whining and crying and saying that it hurt. So as soon as he started saying it hurt, I was like, okay, I need backup.
So she called the Belvidere Fire Department.
Came very quick, and I let the non-emergency dispatch know. I was like, it's not an emergency, he can chill for a little bit.
Hughes says 3 firefighters arrived and were able to quickly remove Enzo from the chair, and without breaking it.
They figured it out. I told them, you can break it if you need to. They're like, no, we're gonna figure this out, and they definitely did.
But she tells me it was unlike Enzo and thinks he was just bored.
He's actually one of a better, I would say, behaved kid. He has his moments.
Hughes says the firefighters were awesome, even though she was embarrassed.
Because one, it wasn't technically an emergency, so I didn't want them to feel like, oh my gosh, she really called us for this, but not at all did I get that feeling or vibe from them. They were just completely there to be helpful.
Hughes tells me Enzo is behaving himself, and now she wants to thank the Belvidere Fire Station 1 Engine 101 crew for their kindness. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Although we are in the summer season now, spring cleaning never truly ends. Now there's a new place to drop off donations in the state line. Goodwill celebrated the grand opening of a Donation Express Center in Roscoe. Located on Rockton Road, Donation Express does not sell things but collects your used items to be sold at Goodwill stores around the area. It's part of the organization's Hand Up, Not a Handout mission.
The sale of those items fund all of Goodwill's mission programs that help people in the community with a hand up. You know, things like job placement, job training, getting their GEDs, tax services.
Roscoe's Goodwill Donation Express is open 7 days a week.
President Biden is on the move to sell a massive infrastructure package to the American people.
Back in Washington, the proposal still needs support from lawmakers, and some have concerns. Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
That's why we have to act.
President Biden traveled to La Crosse, Wisconsin Tuesday. He says a nearly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure framework deal over 5 years will create millions of jobs.
Largely will be those for blue-collar workers. This is the answer for good-paying jobs.
The proposed legislation would help fix roads, bridges, airports, and pipes, strengthen electrical grids, provide more electrical vehicle charging stations, improve broadband access, and clean up water supplies.
A generational investment to modernize our infrastructure.
The White House says the Badger State alone has nearly 200 bridges and over 1,900 miles of highway in need of repair.
And this deal would provide for it for everyone.
Last Thursday, a bipartisan group of senators came to an agreement with the White House, but the deal was almost blown up when the president said he wanted a separate bill passed alongside through reconciliation, which would include Democratic priorities.
He wants both bills, as he said, and he's going to campaign for both bills.
Progressives say the bill is too small. Even so, senior members of the White House have been working to calm their fears. If all 50 Democratic senators are on board, at least 10 Republicans are needed to pass the bill. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has not signaled if he supports the bill yet. However, he was satisfied the president unlinked the infrastructure bill and the separate reconciliation bill, even as Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she still wants them both.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've got a couple of light showers coming down this evening. A live look with our Merced SkyTrack camera out over the Park Hills Golf Course in Freeport. You can see a little bit of that here coming down on the camera lens as we have a lighter shower working in from the west and southwest. And that is pretty much what we are going to see for the majority of this evening. So even though we still do have that flash flood watch in effect, I think our heavy rain threat, or at least any thunderstorm activity, really on the lower end of things here for tonight. But a couple of sprinkles northwest of Rockford from Freeport on down south. Once you get out towards Shannon there, right along US 52 in Carroll County, and a couple of sprinkles kind of working down parts of northern and central Ogle County. Not expecting much with this, as some of the rain and thunderstorm activity has been confined to the south as well as up to the north. That's where some of the stronger thunderstorms have been. We've had the cloud cover overhead, and that's kind of limited the instability and cooled us off, relatively speaking, as temperatures are in the 70s to the west. We've got the 80s a little bit further to the east as we've been able to see a bit more sunshine. But it's muggy out there, and that mugginess is something that'll stick with us not only through the night tonight, but also during the day tomorrow. No rain for Ken and Belvidere. 79 said looked like it was going to rain all day, but like it's been the last several days, it's gone around. 0.6 of an inch of rain, though, for Ben up in South Beloit. 79, 1/10 of an inch of rain for Bob, our weather watcher here in Rockford, with the current temperature sitting at 80. Now, I mentioned the mugginess, dew point numbers in the upper 60s and low 70s, so still that tropical air mass. So if we were to get some showers, yeah, there could be some more moderate rain, but nothing that'll be widespread here through this evening. And with the activity to the north and to the south, that's kind of gobbling up some of that energy that we would need to really kind of sustain some of those showers here through this evening. But nonetheless, as kind of a cold front works in from the northwest later tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to hang on to an isolated shower chance, but just know it's going to stay mostly cloudy, and wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some fog develop underneath some of that cloud cover early tomorrow morning. Now, cold front does come through during the day tomorrow, so the greater chance for any showers or thunderstorms will be to the south, but still might see an isolated one kind of pop up for the afternoon locally. Notice the coverage, though, very, very isolated. Fog possible again Wednesday night into Thursday. Thursday, we actually get an upper level system that comes through, so we might see a bit more activity during the afternoon with the heating of the day. Something to kind of keep an eye on Thursday, but we do dry out once we head into Friday. City Market this go around looking fairly comfortable. Now, I mentioned that mugginess sticking around even though we have that cold front coming in. That's because tomorrow our winds are still coming in from the west, so we don't see that drier air come in until Thursday. Thursday, our wind begins to shift around to the northeast, so that'll lose some of that mugginess or that humidity, and it'll feel a little bit more comfortable as we head into the weekend. 69 degrees, that's where we head for the overnight, kind of similar to what we woke up to this morning. 85 for tomorrow afternoon, so going up just a little bit, as we should be able to see a bit more sunshine for the afternoon. We see the numbers dip on Friday, overnight lows in the 50s, so pretty nice and comfortable there. But look at that, guys, we head into this holiday weekend, could be in the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees on Sunday. Right now, looking dry and staying warm too as we head into next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
Now the Cubs are scuffling. They've lost 4 in a row. How different might things have been had the Ricketts spent a little money and hung on to a couple guys who are tearing it up right now? One being Kyle Schwarber. He's the hottest bat in baseball for the Nationals. He's hit 11 home runs in his last 9 games. He's hit 15 in the month of June, and he's thriving in the leadoff spot, a spot where he didn't succeed with the Cubs. Overall, he has 24 homers this season, 64 RBIs. I didn't have a huge problem with the Cubs letting him go as a free agent, only because I figured if the Ricketts weren't going to spend a lot of money, better they spend it on Javier Baez and Chris Bryant, who give you defense in addition to offense, than spend it on Schwarber. Then there's Nick Castellanos. He's thriving with the Reds. He has a .347 batting average, 15 homers, 50 runs batted in. Imagine if the Cubs had Castellanos, Schwarber, and Yu Darvish on this roster. They'd be right there with the Dodgers as the favorites in the National League. Oh well, at least the Ricketts gave Cubs fans a new merchandise store and a new TV network to milk Cub fans of more of their money. Well, prep schools have been around a long time. Most of them are focused on preparing high school basketball players for the next level. They load up their rosters with star players. They travel a lot, play great competition. We haven't seen them, though, make inroads into Rockford much until recently. The first to go that route was East Sincere Parker. He left East after his junior year 2 years ago after the Erabs went to state. He went to a prep school in Arizona where he did okay, but he got a little lost in the shuffle on a talented team. Now he's at a community college in Missouri. And this year, Rockford Christian's talented 6'8" freshman Ethan Lathan transferred to Link Academy in Missouri. I'm not knocking any basketball player who decides to attend a prep school. Everyone has to choose the path that's right for him or her. I'm just concerned we're going to see a bit more of this in the future, with Rockford losing top players and local fans being denied to see great talent here at home. Imagine if Fred Van Vliet would have left Auburn after his freshman or sophomore year. Rockford probably wouldn't embrace him like it does right now. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Our First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got a couple of light showers out there this evening, and that's pretty much what we're going to see here as we go through the night tonight. Temperature-wise, our numbers are kind of sticky, down to 69 degrees, up to 85 tomorrow. A little less humid Thursday and for the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending a little of your time with us. Stay safe.